This morning we'll be discussing respect. So again, back to me sharing my story. I actually ended up putting the story on my Facebook, so my Facebook family's seen it, and I've been getting so many messages. And so I've been texting people about it, people have been DMing me about it, and the general thing that's come out of these conversations is respect. Because remember at the end of my speech, I was saying, ladies, respect yourself, and then the Lord will send you someone who respects you just the same. I want to elaborate on that. In a healthy relationship, when one respects themselves, they end up respecting their mate. In one of my conversations with someone, we were discussing the emotional abuse that you receive in these relationships, because my ex was emotionally abusive just as much as he was physical. And I'm sure that's pretty much the case with most people in physical relationships, because to beat a bitch ass, you got to break them down in the mind as well. So when they hit you, they're also telling you, you ain't shit. And when you're in these abusive relationships and you love your partner so much, you believe the shit that they tell you. My ex told me that I'm not going to tell you what he said. Just know that what he used to tell me when we broke up, I believed that for years after. You carry around these scars and you don't even realize you're carrying around these scars. You don't even realize you unintentionally believe what these bastards told you. So let's get back to my point of respect. I eventually did get into another relationship with someone else who loved themselves and respected themselves. And I really want to share this story because it taught me a lesson. In my new relationship with this new guy who respected himself and he respected me, one day we got into a disagreement. We never fought. Let me say a tangent about it. I'm so glad that the Lord sent me my next relationship afterwards, because it taught me what a healthy relationship should be. Let's talk about him. He never called me out my name, ever. Not in a joke, not serious, never ever. If we were laughing and joking, he was never like, hi bitch, you crazy, ho you trip. He never called me out my name. He's never raised his voice at me. He's never cursed at me, ever. So back to this story. One day we got into a disagreement and I was still in my old mentality of how I used to fight, and I got mad and I threw something of his. I remember when I threw it, he looked at what I threw and then looked at me and just walked out the room. He didn't say anything, just walked out the room. The next day, he texted me, good morning, baby. Hey, you want to go to lunch? I was like, yeah, let's go to lunch. We didn't talk about what happened, but I'll never turn down a free meal. Let's go to lunch. When we got to lunch, I thought we were just going to pretend like nothing happened, but he goes, no, Ruth, I brought you here because we need to talk about last night. That wasn't acceptable. He told me, Ruth, I've never disrespected you or your things, and I'd appreciate it if you showed me the same respect. Don't ever throw my things. I sat there dumbfounded for a few reasons. One, God damn it, that was the coolest way to end a disagreement. Like, big up to him. And for the sake that he was correct. He's never once disrespected me, so how dare I pick up anything of his and throw it? I'm going to circle this back around because I had this conversation with my sister Christy. Respect in a relationship has to be mutual, and you have to have it for yourself. In a respectful relationship, you would never want to disrespect them because they never disrespect you because they respect themselves. I want to say something. So this just goes back to like being called out of your name or being emotionally abused, because you would never call your significant other a bitch. You would never be like, man, this hoe tripping, man, this bitch tripping. I have another story to share. The respect is so mutual, you would never let someone else disrespect your mate either. Let me tell you a story about my brother and my sister. My brother Roman really loves his wife Christy, and he respects her and she respects them, and if you follow their snaps, you can tell they love each other. And also, Christy and I became very close friends after they got married. So let's fast forward 6 years ago. One day me and Christy are texting about going out. I was going to the club that night, and Christy was like, oh, I want to go to the club. And I was like, Christy, you can't go with me, white lady. It's a black club. You can't come. Christy and I joke about that all the time, but on this day, she didn't say anything. The next thing I know, I got a phone call from my brother. My brother calls me on the phone, and he's like, what the fuck did you just say to my wife? My first reaction is like, who are you talking to? But then I realized he was dead serious. Apparently, I hurt Christy's feelings, and she started crying. But this actually was a funny story because I didn't really hurt Christy's feelings. At the time, she didn't know. She was pregnant with my Lily. So apparently everything was making her cry at the time. Shit, everything was making her cry at the time, and I didn't really hurt her feelings. But back to my brother respecting his wife. Because they have that mutual respect for each other, the respect for themselves, he wouldn't even allow his sister to disrespect his wife. So I successfully filled up my snaps because I'm at work. So people, respect in a relationship is a must. You have to respect yourself. You have to respect your partner. And then there will never be discussions of cheating, getting cussed out, getting kicked, getting your ass. So I hope you enjoyed today's story. I'm going to turn off my phone and get to work. I love you guys. Can't wait to hear your comments.